So yeah, let's talk about discourse markers. Discourse markers are defined in our book, How English Works, as the seemingly meaningless elements that tend to occur in spoken language. Discourse markers don't change the truth condition of a statement. The statement still has the same meaning with or without the discourse markers, but the discourse markers may add emphasis or emotion, or they may connect to phrases or clauses. Some examples of discourse markers that are commonly used in the English spoken language are so, okay, oh, now, and I mean. I found this picture on the internet, and I thought it was a perfect visual representation of what a discourse marker is. So obviously this fence is meaningless. You could easily just walk around it, but it does add something to the sidewalk. It makes it different than the other sidewalks. To conduct this project, I first found the script for Modern Family Season 1, Episode 1. After I found the script, I searched for certain discourse markers, so, and, oh, now, and Once I searched for those, I had to look at each one individually and look at the context of each word to determine if it was a discourse marker in that specific situation. If it was a discourse marker in that situation, I then determined which lexical category it fit into. I then put them into a table, whether they were interjection discourse markers, lexicalized clause discourse markers, conjunction discourse markers, or adverb discourse markers. Here's a picture of two of my tables in my project. The first one on top is the interjection discourse markers, and the one on the bottom are the lexicalized clause discourse markers. Then on this page, I have my other parts of my other two tables that I included in my project, the conjunction discourse markers on the top and the adverb discourse markers on the bottom. Here is just a short little clip from Season 1, Episode 1 of Modern Family. This short clip actually contains quite a few discourse markers, so see if you can pick up on any.
This is the story of three families. Jay and Gloria are newlyweds.
Hi, I'm Gloria Bridget.
Oh, this must be your dad.
Actually, no, I'm her husband. Don't be fooled by the, Give me a second here.
Mitchell and Cameron are proud new parents.
Look at that baby with those cream puffs.
This baby would have grown up in a crowded orphanage if it wasn't for us. Cream puffs. And you know what? No, to all of you who judge. Shame on you. What?
She's got the cream puffs.
Oh.
Phil and Claire have the traditional family.
I'm the cool dad. I know all the dances to High School Musical.
We're all in this together. Yes, we are.
No matter how different they are.
We're here, coming in.
Don't worry, Dad. Nothing gay going on here.
They're one big happy family.
What a beautiful dress.
Hi, thank you, Phil.
Okay.
No, Phil. So she says Phil, not feel.
Oh.
Phil.
Did you catch any? The first discourse marker in this little clip that I showed was when Gloria was at the soccer game and the man said, "Oh, and this must be your dad." Oh and are both discourse markers that were used. Oh is an interjection discourse marker, and is a conjunction discourse marker because it connects the two phrases, oh and this must be your dad. Another example from the clip of a discourse marker was when Phil was commenting on Gloria's dress and he said, "Oh, beautiful dress." Oh is an interjection discourse marker, and it's a discourse marker because it doesn't change the truth value of what he's saying. He's still, without saying oh, he would still be saying what a beautiful dress it was she was wearing. Oh just adds emphasis or emotion to his statement. This discourse marker wasn't in the clip that I showed, but it was in the script for the first episode. Phil says, "Luke so far, hasn't beaten me at basketball." Is an example of a lexicalized clause discourse marker. It doesn't change what Phil is trying to say. It doesn't alter the meaning, but it's just a way for him to sort of confirm that you understand what he's trying to say. This discourse marker wasn't in the clip that I showed, but it was in the script. This is Luke saying, "I'm so sorry." This use of the word so is an adverb discourse marker because he's he's emphasizing how sorry he is. He's emphasizing the action or the emotion that he feels. In this scene, Phil is showing off his dance moves to High School Musical, but when he uses the word so, it's still a discourse marker, but it serves a different function than the so that I previously showed. He's using it in a way as to sort of brag about his ability to dance or to show off, not so much to emphasize an action or to describe the action as was used in the case before this. So discourse markers are used all the time, you know? Discourse markers are so commonly used in spoken English that native speakers most of the time aren't even aware of when they're using them. Through this project, I learned just how common discourse markers are actually used in TV shows that we watch, such as Modern Family. I watch Modern Family all the time, and I never have picked up on how often discourse markers were used. After this project, I even started to realize how I use discourse markers, or I pick them up when I'm having a conversation with other people. I start to realize more that they are saying words such as so and now. In this particular Modern Family episode, "oh" was the most common discourse marker used. It was most commonly used right at the beginning of sentences, like, "oh, that dress is beautiful," or "oh, I didn't know." Also, in this specific Modern Family episode, so served two different functions. It, in some contexts, was a conjunction discourse marker, and in other contexts, it was an adverbial discourse marker. Even though it was the same word, it served two different functions depending on the context. The biggest thing that I took away from this project was that everyone uses discourse markers. It's just we might not all be aware of it, you know?